I wouldn't be friends with anybody who's Second Amendment, but
I didn't say a but.
no, but I'm saying if you're Second Amendment, but
okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
you ain't gonna like me very much at all.
That's right.
Good.
So, what is this?
What's going on, guys? We are back. SHOT Show 2024, Gators Eyewear Booth, RECOIL podcast. Myself, Devin Perkins. I'm here with my good friend, Kevin Dixie. And we got one of our longtime good friends from the industry, Scott McGregor with Mossberg. What's going on, man?
Long time. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you, brother.
It's been a while. Been a while, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I can't remember last time we had dinner in St. Louis. It was 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. I got to see you. You're in a new place.
Oh, yeah. Colorado, man. Colorado. It's
nice.
fun. You know.
Good for you.
We get to fight, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Georgia got a little easy.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I've been with Mossberg probably 3 years. I've been around the industry almost 20 years. I actually worked with RECOIL. Ian and I are close. We've been friends for a long time. And I actually sold advertising for RECOIL for a couple years, and it's one of my favorites. But just been around the industry and got to know you guys through some other events and things, and we're just here at the SHOT Show, man. Who doesn't love this?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I want to.
Shut up. You're in this. That's where you and I met, right?
Yeah.
We were over at a 511 event.
He always says that. But
every
year
I said, who's this guy? And he goes, who's this guy? He didn't know.
We just kind of standing there awkward.
Yeah, and they were talking to everybody that walk up and talk to us. So I was like, you know everybody. And you're like, you know everybody. So
it's how friendships start, right?
That's right.
No, but I like being at SHOT Show. I think my favorite part about SHOT Show are people like you. Conversations, people I know. The products are great.
Yeah.
The people are better.
People are better. People are the highlight for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
So Mossberg, yeah, man. Everybody knows Mossberg. Everybody's got Mossberg stories. I was just talking to a gentleman over here that, that was the first gun my grandpa gave me, and I hit a lot of those stories. It's really great. It's one of my favorite things. But one of the cool things too is that we're innovating all the time. I mean, everybody thinks Mossberg and they think shotgun, but we've got a really nice pistol. We've got hunting rifles, the Patriot line of hunting rifles. We've got some kind of patrol style rifles in our MVP line. I love throwing cans on those and hunting hogs with those things. They're a lot of fun. We got 308 and 223, and stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun being a part of Mossberg, and a 100-year-old company, still owned by the same family. So I enjoy it a lot. It's a good place to be, and we've all had jobs we didn't like, and this is not one of them. I love this place.
oh man, that's good to hear.
Yeah, it's good.
You don't necessarily hear that a lot.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I feel like that's a pretty general sentiment as far as being in the gun industry. Like, we get to wake up and play with guns, or defend gun rights all day. To me, it's a blast.
And your buddies, and be with your buddies that like to do the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I just want to point out I had hair when I started, so and I didn't have any gray, so that'll be a thing.
Must be the hat. And then, like we know, we got all these different mutual friends, like I saw you were out shooting with Buck Doyle, and Buck's been a longtime friend of mine. I grew up with his wife, and it did me good to see you out there learning all that stuff that Buck does, with that long range, and knowing where you lived. It seems like it'd be kind of hard to go out and do some real long range stuff if, very often.
Absolutely. It was not only was it, and that's another thing I love about the 2A space that I got to say. I'm a kid from the inner city, right? And then when you look at the geographical location of even where just the state I'm in, we don't have distance. It's very hilly, mountainous. It's not no distance. You don't get to see that. And then being out with Buck in New Mexico, and I know you go to Utah. Well,
That's
Utah.
Right. Utah.
But to see the scenery, to be able to look over a mile. I don't get
big.
It's
and then
huge.
to shoot a mile.
And don't get me started. So in the 2A space is awarded a kid like me that comes from where I come from the opportunity not only to meet people with different backgrounds and different cultures and ways of thinking and different foods and religions. It also takes me to different environments and scenery. You really get to realize, like, man, you think that you know a lot of you have a worldview until you really start experiencing it.
You have your worldview, right? Yours, and then you learn.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely beautiful. So, what is this?
So this is a little project they were working on. There were some special organizations that needed a new iteration on a breaching gun.
Okay.
And if you look at it, it looks like a typical Mossberg in a small sense. It's similar to our Shockwave. But there are some really cool new things, right? This is a 10-inch barrel, right? So this is a special 10-inch barrel. This is not considered like a Shockwave just because of the pistol grip and things like that, you know, in the short barrel. But what they were looking for, they was looking for something that wasn't going to take a lot to learn how to run or to remember where the safety was and that type of thing. So, look at that, you know. So realistically, you know, this runs just like your, you know, the safety engages just like you're going to run your AR, like all these guys understand, you know, whatever platform they're using. The other thing is that it mag fed, right? So this is a 5-round mag, but we also have 10 and 15 round mags for special needs or whatever. Or, you know, if you got a placard on your vest or whatever, and you have a few different magazines in there, and you just get in there what you need. But this was specifically meant for breaching, you know, hence the, you know, the single point sling that you just swing it behind you, you know, and after they hit those hinges and stuff. But this is pretty fun. This kind of innovation and things that, you know, Mossberg does. You know, if somebody has a special need, they went after it and they put everything into it and they made it happen, you know. And, you know, for example, little things like they got these guards on it. Well, as you sling that after you're breaching the door, you know, they don't want anybody hitting that safety, right, type of thing. So this is an interesting thing. We're gonna, it'll be available to law enforcement in a very similar fashion, like in a very similar form. But we have some other really cool, like Shockwave-like ones that'll eventually be probably available to military and law enforcement, and likely available to everybody else. May not be on the regular price list, but you know, we're big on the Second Amendment, and you know, let people have what they want.
You know what? You want to ask him a Second Amendment question in Mossberg stance?
I don't know. I don't represent Mossberg. I'll represent Scott McGregor.
Okay, well, I asked Scott then.
I mean, we know Scott's stance on the Second Amendment. I wouldn't be friends with anybody who's Second Amendment, but
I know. We know each other well enough.
Yeah.
I didn't say it, but
no, but I'm saying if you're Second Amendment, but
okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
you ain't gonna like me very much at all.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I don't have to ask Scott that question. I know Scott. I will say this. Scott has contributed to this very moment by one time I was interviewing Ian, and Scott listened to the episode. He contacted me. He was like, that wasn't good. He was like, you could do way better than that. Do better than that. And literally, I got on the phone with Ian. I was like, Ian, we got to run that back. Somebody told me it wasn't good enough. We got to do this again. And to date, I have always kept that little tidbit in the back of my head, like, all right, when I'm interviewing people, I got to be on point or Scott's not going to like it.
Well, you know, here's the deal, right? Your closest friends will tell you when you got a booger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your closest friends watch out for you. And you know, and you and I had met, and I mean, you know, you're a young, enthusiastic guy and everything else, and you've come a long way since I've known you.
Thank you.
And so, you know, like I want you to succeed. You know, you want your friends to do well.
You know, I would agree with that, and they're giving us the sign. So I'll say my 2A question because it was generic anyway, but it ought to be good for people to hear. I do know you love the 2A. Let me be very clear about that. That's not in question. I just had a question, but that's not in question. Fun fact about you, not many people know.
That's awesome.
I tell you what, at this point, I've come from a diverse background. Not diverse like us all sitting here, but diverse like I started my family trained racehorses.
Wow.
And I've come through that, and people don't know I love to race desert motorcycles. I love the Baja race, and people don't, you know, it's like, it's funny, but your journey to get where you were at, like I've heard some of your stories about where you've been and where you were working and where you came from. Like people, they have a hard time imagining your story and your journey getting where you're at. Like getting where you're at, sitting here, looking sharp like you do, talking about this stuff at the SHOT Show.
You don't have to lie about it.
Well, you know, come on, it's okay.
It's for the camera.
It's all right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but like, you know, people don't know, right? So, I mean, there's just little things. And I love guns. Like I've always loved them. I didn't come from a hunting background. I just, for some reason, I'm attracted to them, you know, and I like them, and I love the history, and I love the process, and I love collecting them and things like that. And things that excite me at, you know, my age, you know, in my 50s, I wouldn't have excited me 20 years ago because it wasn't black, you know, with big magazines and all the stuff, you know. But man, you start learning and you learn history of things and why things are the way they are and where those came from. And it's, I just love what we do. I love being a part of this industry. And I mean, that's, it's really not that much of a mystery, but we all have our story and we all have our journey that got us to right here today. So, it's kind of interesting when I get to talk to people and they go, wow, how do you know that? So it's like when we catch up and, when you and I talk and,
Oh yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to know where people come from and why they tick the way they do, why they do things.
Absolutely. So if people want to know more about you as an individual, I need you to tell them where they can find you, and then where can they find Mossberg and keep up with all the good toys?
Awesome. Well, I'm of the age where I'm a little bit technologically challenged, but I got my Instagram and I got Facebook. I know everybody does that, or old people do that, but I Instagram, things like that. I love going to, if you ever see me at a competition or at a trade show or whatever, man, I wouldn't hesitate. Let people come up and ask me questions, say hello. I'd love to meet, I like to meet people, and I love to share knowledge if able. So do that. And then Mossberg, mossberg.com. And, it's, like I said, great company. Everybody has a Mossberg story. Everybody has an heirloom that's, Mossberg, that type of thing. It's pretty fun. But you can find us, like I said, mossberg.com and check them out, because it's a great company, family owned, same family that, started it. So love it.
All right, man. And we love you. And I would like to say this. I'm going to shake your hand and say thank you for being a quality human being.
I love it.
And doing more for this industry than people might realize. A lot of things aren't blasted out into the stratosphere, but you are definitely one of the individuals that is a reason why even this is still happening in vibrant.
It's nice. There's a lot of really quality people, and I love what we do.
Would agree. And we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Man, SHOT Show 2024 has been nothing but amazing. The RECOIL podcast is bringing you the best guests. Gators Hour, we appreciate you for hosting us. So we're going to wrap this up. We'll be back with more and more awesome guests. Scott, once again, sir, thank you for being a quality human being.
Love being here. Thank you.
And we're out.